We need to find out if we're coming back. Will the podcast show make money and finally be rich?
No, not rich.
I said motherfucker burn.
Can they finally order better pizzas than Little Caesars? Alright, not fucking. Will we ever be the type of pizza that can get Papa John's? The world may never know.
Yeah, are we after staying like Little Caesars? Are we gonna ever move to Papa John's?
That's all I need. A heat win.
It looks like right now y'all are in a little bit of a struggle.
What? We've been through that.
Yeah.
Oh no.
John,
Y'all are like talking over each other. This is literally a card of like talking over each other sometimes.
That never happens.
It happens all the time.
It can be like y'all are all trying to go in different directions.
There we
it's
go.
kind of like a clusterfuck.
It is
Sure.
We're
going in a different direction.
What's that card mean?
Knight of Swords is something happening like real quick. A lot of like. Oh god, there's like it's like an energy of motion that's like real quick, but like for a purpose, you know, not just for no reason.
No, that's not it.
A lot of things happening real quick, kind of like
Not you. I'm
not necessarily all expected or planned for, but just kind of it's going in a direction and it's gonna go whether you like it or not. And with the World card, actually a pretty decent card. It means a sense of like it's like almost like the Death card in a sense of endings and beginnings. You're at the end of a cycle and you're starting like a totally new cycle where you don't have to repeat the same mistakes that you made before.
Gentlemen, welcome to a all new episode of the Everyman Show.
The Everyman Show.
That's right. I am still the same host, John Everyman.
Unfortunately.
Right. I like how this man rolls already.
Yeah.
Sitting with me, thankfully, in this new home is the crew. Mr. Goodnight.
Killian's finest.
Did you change your name too? Are you different now?
Headphones? Headphones? No headphones?
No, they don't do
Too
that.
cool for headphones?
Nah, they're 2 ears for headphones. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it with them.
Alright. I don't want to hear you motherfuckers twice.
That is right.
We know why you're here, baby.
That's right.
This is up, sir.
Esmeralda. What's going on, bro?
Yeah, you know what it is. I'm part Mexican now.
All right,
Stop
bro.
playing.
Are you a part of like some sort of cartel?
What the fuck? What kind of fucking
that's what
police
Mexicans
officer
do.
are you?
This motherfucker ain't hold. Hey, you know what?
That's the one thing that ain't changed. John's still a cop.
You know, one thing about that motherfucker, he can't hold water, man. You tell that motherfucker that, he gonna spill immediately. You say, don't tell nobody, he gonna turn around and tell somebody, whisper in their ear, and tell them what you just told
Yeah, before you know
he
it,
can't spill water,
I'm
dog.
about to be the new El Chapo. Just John be exaggerating.
That nigga straight snitch. Yeah. Diarrhea out the mouth.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, just to explain, we are in our new official studio here.
Sir.
Courtesy of Kendall Podcast Studios.
Come on now. Talk to him now.
Yes, man.
Baby.
This is an exciting moment because you
big,
know
big first episode in the studio.
Yeah,
right?
you know what? But in this happening, I came up immediately with the question of, does the Pod Illuminati exist? Because 1 minute we're in one studio, and then all of a sudden we're here, and I was like, the Pod Illuminati's got to exist. I don't understand why we're here now, but it's fine. I love it. I think this is beautiful. You guys like it so far? You guys like the layout?
Man, I'm out here drinking expired beer.
Bro, don't tell me that's expired.
I mean, honestly, if you guys don't like it, the door is right there.
Well, no. There's good beer. There's good beer.
Oh, okay. That's good beer. Okay.
Yeah, we're talking about beer.
I thought you meant the spot. I was
No. We're talking expired beer.
No one's holding you hostage. Get the fuck out and roll better backwards. Go ahead.
But speaking of listening to this voice here, it's our landlord. See, this is crazy.
Like our landlord?
Our new landlord. What's the new landlord? Hey, who runs it? Who runs it?
Yeah, but landlord makes you sound old and I have like a cul-de-sac on.
He's the new man.
Landlord.
He's the new man of the studio.
Okay, you can say that.
Yeah, that's better. You're the new man. All right. You don't like those white terms, those white used terms like landlord. All right. It's the man in the studios. This is a cool experience, man. It is. Yeah, I mean, honestly, from all this happening and all these big changes, man, it was cool to know that you guys were here. I didn't even know Kendall Podcast was out here, to be quite honest. I knew some of the dudes when I started looking into it. I was like,
that's the best part, because then when you do find it, it's like a gem. Because like when you do find it, you feel like, oh shit, only I know about it. You know what I'm saying? So you feel like,
right.
It's kind of like that girl you found on Instagram that only gets like 15 likes, but she's bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like a little secret one.
Yeah, you're like, damn, she's fine as fuck, but no one comments on her shit. Maybe I got a chance. Same kind of feeling, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Except you're not fucking no bitches in this podcast studio, you know what I'm saying?
But on the outside.
But then you find out that she had like 30 pages. That's why that she only got 100 people on 15 likes.
Hey, if
she's smart as shit. She a marketer.
If I gotta follow all 30, it is what it is. It is what it fucking is.
But
I'm here to network.
But it was crazy, man. Like, you know, from this whole transition, you guys were just all of a sudden. Kendall Podcast popped up, and I was like, all right, we're going to a new studio. Oh, what's this? And you guys were standing there. I think you guys were waiting on us or something. It was crazy. That's why I say it's got to be a Pi Illuminati or something. Like, convenient that Kendall Podcast is here.
Shout out Yan. She runs the DM. She's very PR. Me, I'm just too cutthroat. Not cutthroat in a bad way. I'm just straight to the point.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah, but I don't have Yaz no more, so it's just your boy out here.
All right.
But it's cool. It's I just like giving opportunity. Like I like how I told you when I met you. Like I've been through the good and the bad in podcasts, so I know what to prevent. You know what I'm saying? Like I know what he's worried about right now. You know what I'm saying? He's worried about that he has to look at that camera every couple minutes so it doesn't shut off. You know what I'm saying?
Frankie.
I know that feeling. I know the feeling of. He's watching the sound waves to make sure it doesn't stop, because then this is point is right here. So I know what it feels like to be him and you. If you know what I'm saying.
But let me tell you, this is beautiful in here. I mean, I love the whole
it's
style.
It's not even done. It's just white.
I know. We were talking about all the changes you want to do, but already what you got here,
it's lit.
It really is, man. Yeah. It calls more to like a studio.
You feel like what I was explaining last night to a female was that, you can set up a podcast studio in your crib, but the fact that you have to go and drive to a podcast studio, it just gives it that feel. That's why, even as a recording artist, if you have a studio in your house, you're gonna record less songs than when you have to go pull up to a studio, because you're already making the effort of driving to the podcast studio. So that means you're gonna give your effort. Like, you're not gonna drive to here to give me a shitty attitude. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
Stay home.
This is more like legitimacy. This gives it when you go to a studio. That's why, like, I thought about that too. Like, you know, when we were thinking about where we were gonna go next, I was like, you know, to see ourselves doing one of those house-like studios. Yeah. I was like, I can't do it.
It's cool. It's cool if you can and if you have the space, you know. But it's like, me personally, I'd rather be somewhere where I can have the beers, old wine, expired beer, backwoods, Frank hooking it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would rather, if this wasn't my studio, I would be glad that I'm a guest here. Put it that way.
I mean, we've done other podcasts.
For sure, I've seen you pay attention.
Yeah, well, there was one that we did in the Villages where we went to someone's house.
Okay.
For that actual episode.
Hey, but he had the studio in his living room, and it was like he had that shit decorated.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
But it was like his living room was his podcast studio, and I mean, I'm not about that life, man. But I don't want to see anybody. I could just, if I could podcast by myself at the crib. Same thing with music. I don't want to go deal with an engineer's energy. It's got to be me.
You would prefer to do everything in your house.
That way I could be naked with a bucket hat on.
Feel the creativity.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But do you feel that you would get more work done though? Because I get his point of
I get his point. You won't get more work.
You think you would?
Well, it depends on
You
what
think
kind
you
of person
would?
you
You
are.
probably be more creative.
You play more basketball at the park than you do when you have a hoop in front of your house.
Yeah, you're more inclined. I guess because you're
Yeah,
amongst
yeah.
other people.
Ain't nobody there.
When you're by yourself,
Because you
it's
have
different.
to, you have to go there. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're not gonna go to the park if you don't want to play.
Right.
If
Like if you want to chill at home and you
Right.
want to
I
break,
get your
you
point.
can break.
right, you get what
Yeah,
I'm
I
saying.
get your point.
So
More distractions at home.
so bring it back to the fact that just putting up to a podcast studio. Oh, bitch, I'm podcasting today.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm dressed
Yeah.
up. I'm fresh. You know what I'm saying? Deodorant, no deodorant. We don't give a fuck. We out here.
Yeah, none of us were.
I think for an interview, it's definitely better to pull up somewhere. For
Right,
both sides.
right.
Yeah.
If you're
right.
podcasting by yourself, is what I'm saying. Maybe you can do it at the crib and it works.
Because you
But-
don't. Because you,
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, by yourself.
Cause you don't want random niggas in your crib. First of all,
Yeah.
my lady stay there. You know what I'm saying? You can't be
Right.
at my lady stay. Come on now.
Right. You don't want to see my dirty underwear there while we're talking.
Right.
That's not gonna-
Right.
That's not
It's
conducive.
gonna fuck the whole show up.
Right, and people I think feel uncomfortable. They feel like you're gonna rob them in there. It's gonna turn into some sketchy
No,
shit. Like
and-
lock you in a room.
No, and then if it's a girl, that's it. You totally gonna rape her.
Oh, for sure.
It's a
And,
rape
and imagine us guys going into a house and we're like, "Yeah, come in here, young
Yeah.
lady. We're gonna interview you for another 2 hours. Don't worry about it. We'll let you out." when you're
Fucking,
done."
Casting couch porno type shit.
Seriously, but guys,
Next topic.
you know a little bit of with us right now, but being that we're all hanging out together, I figured it'd be a cool way. Since we're gonna be a part of your studio and joining all these other podcasts, we want to get to know you.
Life, not studio.
Right.
Life.
Life,
Uh-huh.
podcast life.
Yes, yes.
But I want to get to know you. I said, we gotta get to know the
ask
man
away,
who
ask
does
away,
it. So
ask
first
away.
off, man, where are you from?
I was born here. My mom's Cuban. My dad's Jamaican.
Really, you Cuban Jamaican?
My father was born in England. My mom was born in Jersey. But my roots are Cuban and Jamaican.
Really?
Yeah.
Where are you stronger? What do you lean towards more?
I grew up more with my Cuban grandparents, so I understand Spanish, but I don't speak it too crazy because I just don't have to. We don't do Spanish podcast here.
You don't do Spanish. Wait till we switch, because that's what we're gonna do next with
Let's
these
go.
new changes.
Let's go.
We're
I'm
gonna-
with it. I'm with it.
and
Eso es todo el
And
mundo.
diggity.
Eso va, cabrón.
Oh, see.
Yeah. So that's where I'm from. That's my background. Luckily, I've been blessed that I've had parents that have been together for 30 years. So,
Oh, wonderful,
They-
man. You don't hear about that every
they've
day.
taken me to France, Italy. I've been to Jamaica, Bahamas. I've been overseas. I don't want to say everywhere, but I've just been in a blessed position. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit, man.
Yeah.
So you've traveled a little bit young and
Yeah,
early in
I
life.
actually, funny story, the love boats, the gondolias in Italy,
Mhm.
I like a dumbass, I'm waiting for the boat with my phone on my lap sitting, and the shit came up, and I'm happy as fuck to get on it, and I stand up, and my phone falls in the water. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of fucked up my trip, but it ain't no thing, you know what I'm saying?
But that's dope, man. You said your dad
My
is
dad's from England, but he's
Jamaican.
Jamaican, yeah.
I've heard that's a common thing.
Yeah, very common, very common.
I've learned that.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, so I can
Yeah,
see that
yeah.
where that comes from.
And then my mom's Cuban, so
Yeah.
she's born in Jersey, but there's a lot of Cubans in Jersey and up there, so it was just that time.
But you were raised down here in Miami.
I was
or-
raised Westchester, Miami, and in Cutter Ridge for like half and
man,
half. So
you-
I'm a down south nigga for sure.
Oh man, but you were raised in some fucked up areas.
Not fucked up in Westchester. Is that
Westchester's fucked up,
Nah,
bro.
nah,
I'm
don't-
sorry, I hate
look,
Westchester.
look, is that when I was coming up in Westchester, there's a point where you're a certain age where you don't know what fucked up is. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
Like your parents might think, no, you're fucked up, but at my age, it's like this is all I know.
Right.
Just like if you go to Africa right now, it might look crazy, but for that 2-year-old, he does that every day.
That's life.
He's used to flies around his body while
Right.
he eats. You know what I'm saying? So it's just stuff like that. It's just a thing you.
So for you, you didn't
to.
see it until you kind of stepped out. Is what you're saying?
Until I got older, I'm like, oh shit, it's real out here. Because there was even to even get personal, which I would want to, right?
Mhm.
I'm 26. At the age of 23, I had to check myself into a rehab. I was addicted to Xanax pills.
Damn,
Right.
man.
So that was around the same time I caught the charge for the counterfeit. So
Oh my god.
so I went to rehab to look good in court. So I did 4 months of rehab,
Right.
and then that shit just changed my life. You know what I'm saying? And then when I came out, all these things just started. Like once my mind was clear, once my body and soul was right, everything else came like back to back. Like,
Listen, man. First off, I don't even know how you developed an addiction for Xanax because I've taken that shit.
and you don't like it.
Yo, I wake up the next day
Lost as fuck.
slow,
Right.
It's
So
like, I feel like
so everyone's different. So that was just what I went through, you know. But that's
Right.
just me. But it's all good. But you can ask away.
Okay.
I'm an open book, bro. I promise
So let me ask, man. So you were raised down here in Miami, you said, right?
No more questions, please.
Sure.
Next topic.
What drove you to do music in these studios? Well, because your dad didn't sound like he was teaching you how to be a rapper. He sounded like he was teaching different things.
My dad was best friends with the Icons, the guys who made the
No.
song Get Crunked Up.
Get crunked up, get crunked up.
My
get crunked
my
up.
dad's
Y'all too
actually
young for
my dad's actually in that music video, so he was around those guys.
that shit. Really?
Yeah, so he was always the friend in the studio. He actually has a verse on on that album. So
That record was hot, yo.
alright, it was hot.
That
So
was
I've always been around music. I've always loved music. My dad's a music guy. My uncle's a DJ. So it's like I've always been around it. So I just say, you know what, let me spit it myself. And then one day at school, shout out my boy Xavier and Aunt, they had wrote a rap. We were like in 7th grade or 10th grade. They had wrote a rap and everybody was like liking it in school in the spill out. And in my head I was like, I can do way better than this, you know what I'm saying? And not knocking them, but in my head I'm like, hold on, if they cheering for that, then they go cheer for me. You know what I'm saying? So I just
That's
knew,
where the birth of.
I just knew that's what I wanted to do.
You know the thing is, when you do something like whatever you do, you always, for some strange reason, you are like, I can do better than that,
Right.
or I can match that. You know what I mean? It's just like with anything
Hey,
in life.
John, I got like 6 bars in Spanish I thought of when I was getting high in the car earlier.
Oh, yeah,
He inspired.
That's what I'm saying.
El chico de Quito, me prendo mi canuquito, lo quemado pero un poco frito. Eso fue pensado, nunca escrito. But,
Is he talking about eating?
no, I'm talking about smoking
brain.
blunts.
Queso Frito or some shit, I don't know.
His brains are scrambled.
Something
The
about that.
canuquito is a grab a blunt.
It's a gravel blunt.
I thought he was talking about
Oh, that's
eating
what that
something,
is.
man.
I didn't know what that
That's
was.
un canuco.
Yeah, no, you
He,
would.
he's saying something.
I don't know what he's
So Faruko was in AAA like 2 weeks ago, and I did his recap, and it came out so dope, man. I was backstage. This is the VIP band, finger foods, all kind of shit. There's like a little room down there where like if you know the guy, you can get a little ooh wee. If you know what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it was just dope. It was funny because I pulled up in my car, but I'm in the VIP spot, so I'm next to Lamborghinis, Rolls Royce and shit. But it's like, I told my dad, like, the man makes the car. You know what I'm saying? You can pull up with whatever, but I'm gonna judge you by who you are when you step out that car. Me and Lamborghini be a bitch ass nigga. You know what I'm saying?
I see what
You
you're
know what I'm
saying.
trying to say? So no matter what I pull up in, if my work is A1, I don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So if you pull up in a broke down Toyota Corolla,
If I walk there, if I walk there and I killed it, what you gonna tell me?
Exactly.
Damn, bro, you should have came in the car.
oh, he didn't come in no bands.
You know,
man. He
you know,
ain't
if
for
you
real.
walk there, you know you been for business. I
Oh,
ain't
no.
here to fuck
Oh, no.
around.
I need this money, nigga.
Yeah. There you go. I ain't here to fuck around. I don't walk there.
Yeah.
Let's get it. I ain't here to fuck around. I'm serious about
Oh,
that.
you took the bus
Yeah,
somewhere.
know what I'm
You
trying
got
to
your
tell you.
business.
Every time I get on that motherfucker, I'm serious. I'm about that. Like, yeah.
Hey, that's one question I ask people. I'm like, hey, how many times you taking the bus this year?
Yeah.
If it's not at least twice, you're not a real Miami-Dade citizen.
I mean, or you can just have a car. I don't know.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I've taken the train this year.
You got to, yeah. The train counts.
I love taking the Metro Rail. Don't get it twisted. That's one of my favorite ones. Man. You know how much damage you can do inside of it? You can roll like 2 blunts. You could go and make some phone calls, get some pussy set up for the night.
Yeah,
They got Wi-Fi in there.
Yeah,
I'm sitting there on
yeah.
my laptop doing work.
Everything you describe, I'm gonna do that at my house when I get home.
Yeah, but imagine doing it on the train and you got home.
You
It's
gotta
already
do it.
done.
You gotta go outside to do that.
Gotta go outside to
Hey,
We
nah,
know that.
public
They got Wi-Fi.
transportation is like the mental health museum.
Why is that?
Because you go around seeing all them crazy people.
Nah, you for sure you gonna see some crazy shit.
Oh yeah,
For
sure.
sure.
Next topic.
But you were saying your dad taught you a little bit about the the graphic designing. Were you always young into business or
My dad,
what were you into?
my dad was always preached to me to work for myself and don't clock in for nobody.
There you go.
Of course, growing up you have to because you pay bills as regular. But he always wanted me to have a t-shirt business, a studio. Like he always pushed me to not have to worry about this guy paying me. I pay myself now. Whatever I pay the overhead. This is not even my real job. My actual job is I'm a social media content producer for a guy out in Poland. You know what I'm saying? And then on the side of that, I'm a personal videographer for a lawyer, a Jewish lawyer in Surfside. So
Okay.
This is like my third hustle. You know what I'm saying? So I just and then also I do the, you know, but
Oh yeah, we got it.
but that's
We got it.
but
We gotta
that's
get in there.
but that's launching 2021. I want to build it up for a year. You know what I'm saying? So there's just I'm all about the long game. You can win in the season. You know what I'm saying? But if you can't win a game in the finals, I don't give a fuck about it. You feel me? So I'm all about the long term, like building, build.
Right, you're trying to build a dynasty. As they
Right,
say in
right.
sports.
I'm not trying. I'm not trying to hit 65 relying on Social Security check. That's all I'm saying.
That's it.
Hit the cue, man. Hit the cue.
Wait. Oh, my bad. It was
There it is, man. There it is. She had to get in there for
I'm
mine.
gonna fix the sound effects and we're gonna add back. Far.
Yeah. I got you.
Man, so I guess basically what you're saying is from young you were learning entrepreneurialism.
From the jump, I played ball in high school, and I was actually the video guy for the team as well. So like
Were you any good at
been
ball?
around film. I was the co-captain my senior year. So yeah, I was pretty good.
Oh shit!
We
You got a
actually
little bit of game.
we actually lost to Killing in the semifinals because they had some long ass niggas, and all we had was Chico. So I was only willing to get out there for it anyways. You know what I'm saying?
Mr. Gunnar, you're gonna be forever known as the killing guy in here. They're just gonna walk around calling you the killing guy.
I guess I went that shit.
I guess it was.
Yeah.
I mean, but you have to be a certain amount of good to be bought up, though.
Yeah, no, of course. Listen, man.
No
So
one
being
knows-
taught entrepreneurialism
Yeah.
and not in an illegal way, and being taught how to do these things like video graphic design, starting your own studios, and all the other things your father was teaching me, man. That's some good like foundational skills or
exactly.
teachings to have.
Exactly. So I'm very blessed with my father. I tell him every day. I was just raised perfect. My mom's a softie, but dad's a hard ass, so I have the perfect balance. And my dad is hilarious, so I get all my jokes from him. Like, you feel me?
You grew up close with your dad.
Me and my dad like homeboys. I can call him right now just to talk some shit, inside jokes and all that. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
dope, man. To build a relationship with your son. I mean, with the dad and the son. Like my
it's
son's
nothing
a little
like it.
older right
Yeah.
now, and
How old?
he's 19.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, but right now he's roasting me more than we are talking. Like,
Okay,
I
but-
like it where he roasts me. Like you laugh, but you know it's true. It's
He
like-
laughed. He laughed.
He's laughing over
Yo,
there.
you want to
Next topic.
What brought you to podcasts? Why do these podcast
so-
videos? Are you
so-
big on this stuff?
So 2 years ago, I'm living at Yancey's mom's crib, right? And we in her crib. I'm dead ass broke right now, right?
Mhm.
And I'm like, yo, I want to start a show. I want to start like an Instagram page, like a World Star. So the name I came up with was like, want all the smoke or clear the smoke, whatever. And I was like, you know what? I had a plug for an internet radio station, Ben Hopper, XM Radio. Shout out Ben Hopper, man. Changed my life. You know what I'm saying? So we go there. And we did our show, us four, me, my girl, my homegirl, my best friend. We did our show. We did 50 episodes. That shit caught on fire. And then it came to a point where we were getting so much interviews that the station wanted to cut. You know, so I was like, and this was my dad's boy because he does the graphics. So I was like, damn, I'm making such and such off the interview, but I'm getting cut off the top. So I'm kind of being pimped right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right, they're making you do all the legwork, and they're soaking riches.
So something like that. So then I went to we went to a spot called HGAB, which was in Wynwood, but then they were charging us $150 for 10 hours.
Jesus.
And I wasn't making back the interview money. You know what I'm saying? So I was just paying a fee. And then we paused for a little bit. And I moved down here, and then my brother Quinn found this spot. Shout out Alfredo, the original owner. And I came here to podcast, and I just brought in so much clientele. Then it just said, "You're the plug now." Here,
Wow, so just like that.
just like that. Yeah.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
And how have you felt so far doing all these podcasts? Because like I said, we
Um,
were talking about it earlier.
basically-
MIAO Radio, I
Yeah.
love that.
So
man.
basically, the Lick Read has 11,000 followers on Instagram. Not the bot. No, I don't do that fake follower shit. You know what I'm saying? Unless you have to for some reason. But
Sure.
Which is cool. But I built the Lick Read from the bottom up. So instead of the Lick Read podcast, now it's the Lick Read Network. So I have there's like 10 podcasts in the studio, but not every podcast makes it to the network because I just don't want certain content on my network. So
Right.
basically, the Lick Read is now like Revolt. and this would be the Breakfast Club, if for example.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So basically, in this situation, I'm Diddy.
Ah, I
You
see
know
what
what
you're
I'm
saying.
saying?
I got you.
So now instead of just having one podcast, it's like I have 10 podcasts. So now when I get called up, like yo, so when I get called up,
Oh man,
Hey,
it just got miserable in here.
that's the
That's
hotline?
yeah, that's
Landlord? Is that the landlord?
that's the
Yeah,
landlord
yeah,
of our
so I
show.
got going on.
Unfortunately, that's the landlord of our show. As you can see, he's wearing a tie.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, it's miserable.
What's up, brother Ishmael?
Hey,
Nice to meet you.
Walter out here looking like he plays the FBI agent in the movie.
The one that they do.
He looks he looks like one of the other guys. Look, check me out. So what are we on right now? What are we on?
We were talking about you with this whole podcast and you.
Walter, take a seat.
Oh, but how you have your network, kind of like you ever hear the loudspeaker network? It hasn't really, it's not really going on now. but-
basically, yeah, right what you said.
Right.
So basically the delivery network, I'm signing. I already have about 2 or 3 signed. So it's like I'm just building up my network, and I have girls. Like this Sunday, I'm setting up 2 girls to just meet. Like I'm just creating podcast. I'm making it a podcast hub, bro. That like it's just I feel like I'm in a monopoly because you won't get this around nowhere around here.
I think you might have picked up one of the most popular ones out here right now.
That's what
in
I'm
terms
saying.
of comedy, man. This Everyman podcast show, it's got fuego. We got a whole 9 listeners.
Next topic.
And was that your concept all along? Was it to work with other podcasts like this, hands on?
When I first started podcasting, all I cared about was my podcast, nobody else's. And I think everyone else can feel the same, you know?
Of course, it's not like we started ours and we were concerned about the
Right.
betterment of others. No.
So then, I started my podcast. Once I started podcasting, I saw the money in it, right? I saw the demand because if you want to interview in the city, who are you going to? Papa Keys, Super Cindy. Those people are getting old. They're getting pushed out. You know what I'm saying?
Right. The
So it's
market's changing.
Right, so it's a new wave. So luckily, the new wave is not radio. It's either satellite radio or podcasting. So
Yes.
it's like the thing with podcasting, you can't tell me what the fuck to say or not say. You know what I'm saying? With radio, if you're depending on where you're syndicated, there's certain things you can say. But it's like once you build your own platform and people listen to you, it's like no one can tell you shit. You know what I'm saying? Like this is my show. Like people tune into me. I don't need a commercial during the Super Bowl to get fans. You know what I'm saying? So once you build that fan base, it's like everything else is cake, bro.
That's dope,
You know
man.
what I'm saying? So that's what I built with the Liquid. But I say, you know what? Instead of just doing it for the Liquid, let me do it for all the other podcasts that didn't have that shot.
See, man, things I guess happen for a reason, man. Because being here, and us work, me talking to you just before we even got to all this, I saw that you were very much, and just checking your feed, man, and seeing what you were doing with all these other shows, and like you were saying,
Yeah.
you do a good job of promoting all of your podcasts that are here.
Yeah.
And
Equally too, you won't even know that I own this podcast.
Mm-mm.
How equal I promote the show. How you feel me?
right,
Right.
And that was really impressive to me to see someone understand a podcast, and
And that's it. I'm glad you said that.
yeah,
To understand, not just I have 4 mics, y'all boys could record. No. I understand the podcast. I understand that if your session starts at 10, you might not start talking till 10:35. You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying? Because shit happens. You know what I'm
oh
saying?
yeah, and here we're captain not start on time.
You get what I'm saying? So like I told you from the jump, a podcast like you guys, I would put you towards the end, because in reality, if you stay here till 4 in the morning, as long as the door's locked, I don't give a fuck how long your podcast is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You feel me? So it's like that's how I am.
I like that, man. I really do. I love the ability to have someone work with you like that. And not to say that
I'm
our
your
experience
friend.
weren't like that.
I'm your friend first. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want you to know. I'm your friend first.
That was the biggest concern, man. And I appreciate that. I appreciate you.
But that's what I never had. So I knew I had to be that. You know what I'm saying? It was always I gotta pay this by the first. I gotta pay you by the first. Okay, I don't pay you by the first. Oh, I can't record that. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, damn, I feel like it's always money, which it always is. It really is money. You know what I'm saying? But it's like
you're not gonna be able to turn these lights on without.
Right.
No, but if you give people that friendly experience,
Right,
it becomes it's still about money, but it
It's
becomes
good
about
business.
more than just
Right.
money.
Right, it's a good business practice.
Right, so it's like I'd
But
rather
it's a good people practice.
100%. So I'd rather be your friend first because it's like, even like I told you, even if you come here and you didn't want a podcast, if I saw you on the street, hey yo, what's up, bro? What's good, yo, boys? That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like we're still friends. Like even if you hit me up tomorrow, hey bro, Frank said you fucking suck and Walter hates you. We're not doing it there no more. That's okay, bro.
Hey,
You know
Frank
what I'm
doesn't matter that much, but if Walter hates you,
Yeah,
that's
I
a
mean,
problem.
you can hate him right back. Is what's the rule of thumb there.
Yeah. Right. You get what I'm saying? So it's like I don't take nothing to heart. Like I've had sit downs with people that want to do like when I interview people for their podcasts when they want to start, because I don't let anybody podcast. You have to sit down with the great one, and I have to see what you about. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So we sit down and we talk, and I see what you talk about, and it's like I can already tell the effort you're gonna give. I can already tell, like you can tell who's about it just by their actions. You know what I'm saying? First of all, if you're about it, you should always hit my phone first, because it's your show. I'm never gonna care about your show as much as you should.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Just like no one cares about this podcast studio more than me. You get what I'm saying? You feel me? So when I come and I see fucking wine spill, it's like, damn, what the fuck? But to you, it's just like, oh, it's just wine spill. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right, because it's not your shit.
Yeah, because it's not your shit.
It's like having guests in your
And
house. They they walk in and put fucking coasters and shit.
Everything. But I look forward to this podcast. I feel like you're a great host, great co-host.
I appreciate you, man.
You got the manager. I've never seen a podcast with different positions like this. I've just seen the talkers and then the one guy who runs the board.
Kind of just
He ran out of shit to say, so it's time to go.
Yeah,
that's not.
You're already
No,
trying
yeah,
to get us off. Yeah, no, that's Walter's.
That's Walter saying outro.
Yeah, he's like I said, he's the
but
man
you go ahead
of
and
the
finish.
show.
Okay, so let me so thank you for putting me on your episode. I look forward to seeing you guys way more often. Like just thank you, man.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Is it Kendall Podcast Studios is the Instagram that they can follow and check out anything?
Yeah,
if
Kendall
anyone sees?
spelled regular. Kendall
Which is KENDALL.
Kendall Podcast Studios, and then just follow that page and you'll find all the info you need. You feel me?
All right. And you know what, we're gonna wrap it up. Ish, thank you so much for
Thank
letting
you,
us be a
brother.
part of the family,
Thank
man.
you.
You're the man with the master plan, bro.
You're the
I
man.
really do appreciate it, guys. Welcome to the neighborhood here.
Welcome, guys. Appreciate you guys.
That's
Welcome
right.
to
Uh,
boy.
guys, thank you to Kendall Podcast Studios
You know what it
for
is,
allowing
man.
us to do this episode here, our 101st episode. Our 100th episode got lost somewhere. I don't know where that is. It's somewhere in space and time. Maybe Thanos snapped it away. God only knows.
Hey, what wrestler used to bust a glass and then come out?
What wrestler?
Yeah, bust a glass and then come out with a little music.
Hulk Hogan. Oh, it was the Big Show? No, not the Big Show.
Stone Cold Steve Cold.
Oh, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hit the glass. Dana.
Did you cut?
No.
All right.
Guys, check out this episode. This
Yeah, I
is the
know
new
what it is.
studio, the 101st episode, guys,
Yes.
on the everymanpodcastshow.com
Yes, sir.
website. Follow us on Instagram, Everyman Podcast Show, and on Facebook. And check out my friends, our new family
You know what it
members,
is, man.
Kendall Podcast Studio.
Kendall Podcast Studio, come book your session. I'll see you soon. Take care, y'all.
Guys, thank you. Now, turn up that music and let's take this sucker home.
Cause the devil's ahead. The devil's ahead. Hear no evil, see no evil when you whisper in my head. The devil's ahead. The devil's ahead. You never see him coming, you just feel him and you know. You just feel him and you know. The devil's ahead.
Oh, yeah. They said they ain't cutting the lights off. Okay, I was just making
You don't
sure.
pay me enough.
Yeah, the sound guy says it's over. Fuck you. I don't even care if I got nothing to do with the electricity. I'm just out of here.